Applications are connected through APIs using well-defined protocols and structures. A system of guidelines for developing software interfaces is known as an API architecture. The guidelines specify how to provide users access to server capabilities. The guidelines and mechanisms that control the API depend on the kind of architecture. REST and RPC are only two examples of the many distinct forms of API design. You may choose one for your application by becoming familiar with its structure and composition. In this video, we'll learn about the many methods you may interact with a server to get data and carry out operations. So without further ado, let's get started with the video. Number 1. REST. The most widely used API architecture among developers nowadays is REST. Client-server applications are designed using the REST framework. Since it isn't a protocol or standard, there are many methods to put it into practice. This feature broadens your potential as a developer. Access to the desired data kept in a database is made possible using REST. A REST API may be used to carry out the fundamental CRUD operations. Clients must utilize the appropriate headers and arguments when making content requests using a RESTful API. Headers provide helpful information for resource identification, such as status codes and authorization. JSON, HTML, XML, or plain text may all be used for HTTP data transfers. The most used file format for REST APIs is JSON. JSON is human understandable and independent of language. Number 2. SOAP. The Simple Object Access Protocol is a recognized API protocol. One of the oldest API architectures is the SOAP protocol, which is maintained by the World Wide Web Consortium. Its layout makes communication between programs created on various platforms and languages easier. Using the Web Service Description language, the SOAP format specifies an API. The language is written in XML. Built-in compliance criteria imposed by the format improve security, consistency, isolation, and longevity. These characteristics make SOAP more effective for corporate development by ensuring trustworthy database interactions. The standard layer protocols are used when a user requests information over a SOAP API. Both people and robots can interpret the answer since it is in XML format. Similar to REST APIs, SOAP APIs don't cache or save data. You must submit a new request if you require the information at later points in time. Stateful and stateless data transfers are both supported by SOAP. Number 3. GraphQL. A query language for an API is GraphQL. It is a server-side runtime that carries out queries in response to a predetermined set of data. There are certain use cases for GraphQL. The architecture of it enables you to define the precise information you want. GraphQL uses queries to request data, as opposed to REST architecture, which uses HTTP to manage client requests and answers. The types and fields of each kind are defined by a GraphQL service, which then offers functions for each field and type. The service accepts and processes GraphQL requests. It first verifies that a query relates to the types and fields that have been declared. The corresponding functions are then executed to get the result you want. For certain applications, such as obtaining data from several sources, GraphQL is at its best. Additionally, you may reduce bandwidth for smaller devices and manage data fetching. Number 4. Apache Kafka. Apache Kafka is an event streaming distributed platform. Getting real-time data from sources is called event streaming. Databases, servers, or software programs could be the sources. Kafka is made up of servers and clients. A network protocol called TCP is used for communication. The system may be set up on physical devices, virtual computers, and containers. Both on-premises and cloud settings are suitable for this. The Apache Kafka system collects, analyzes, and responds to data in real time. The data may also be sent in real time to a desired location. Data is captured by Kafka and stored in the system where it may be retrieved and used later. Data integration and continuous flow are supported by Kafka. This guarantees that information is delivered at the appropriate time and location. Several sectors that need live data streams may benefit from event streaming. These sectors include those in finance, medicine, government, transportation, and software development. Number 5. Async API. An open-source project called Async API assists in creating and maintaining event-driven systems. Its standards have a lot of similarities with the OpenAPI requirements. With a few minor variations, Async API is largely an adaptation of and enhancement upon OpenAPI specifications. REST APIs and event-driven APIs are combined in the Async API architecture. Its request and response processing schemas resemble those of event APIs. Async API offers standards in a machine-readable format to define and document asynchronous applications. In order to make it simpler for users to implement them, it also offers tools like code generators. The present status of event-driven architecture is enhanced by Async API. The intention is to make working with EDAs as simple as working with REST APIs. Event management is supported by the documentation and code provided by the Async API effort. Most REST API operations are also applicable to asynchronous APIs. It is crucial to document event-driven systems using the Async API standard. It controls and maintains efficiency and consistency across teams engaged in event-driven initiatives. And now number 6. Remote Procedure Call. RPC is a software communication protocol that permits communication over a network between several applications. For instance, a software may ask a networked computer for information. It is not required to follow network protocols. Just as on a local system, you may use RPC to invoke processes on remote systems. RPC uses a client-server architecture. The server software provides the service in response to the client program's request. RPCs rely on synchronization to function. The moment a software submits a request, it is halted until the server responds. Distributed systems benefit most from RPCs. They perform well and have lightweight payloads that are suitable for command-based systems. So guys, these were the 6 different kinds of API architecture. Hope you found the video informative, and if you did, please give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.